Greetings and welcome to another Warhammer 40,000 kill team video. It's been a while, but today we're going over the November 2022 global stats for kill team. Now, before we get into things, please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of the stats and, well, how you think they're doing. Let me know the feedback and all of that jazz. And remember, if you want, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below, as well as a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. But yeah, before we get into things, it's been a while. I got quite sick after the US Open final. I currently have COVID still. You can hear my voice slowly disappearing as we speak. It's getting better. I actually have more of a voice today. As long as I speak like this, I still have a voice. So I have to be closer to the microphone and all of that jazz. So I'm feeling better. This may destroy my voice for the rest of the week, but the stats have been updated, so it's a worthy sacrifice. So before we get into things, remember with the stats, once again, it's all from the Best Coast Pairings app. This is all now done by Hotstars Teddy. He's the guy. Remember to thank him. Without this, none of this would be possible. I am just the face. So we've got all the results globally, as well as from TLs that have submitted results that aren't using BCP. That's the main drawback of the results. So let's get into things. First, we have a minor update. So with the new kill team stats, the data is now semi-regulated in terms of Teddy's found a way to automate it instead of manually combing over it, because we actually have more events now, which is really good. And you know, we've got a new category which we're calling GT Plus, which is basically 4-round tournaments with 16 or more players to kind of mirror what GW are doing with their 20 or more player events, which is a weird number because basically you would be looking for 16 or 32 or higher to get, you know, like Swiss results. And we might get some more regular updates than we were having before. But that's the main update with the stats. So let's get into how it's shaping up. So here we have all the win rates for November. So the interesting thing here is, well, we have now multiple factions above 55%. So, you know, remember 45 to 55 is a good standard. About 55 to 60 is worrying. Above 60 is bad. 44 to 40 is not so good, and below 40 is like needs serious buffs. And as you can see, Hunterclade, Void Dancer Troop, and Galloppox Infected are dominating the game. So one of the downside with our new automated method is we are unable to differentiate between Into the Dark and normal events, but we know it's Into the Dark because the stats only started getting messed up with the influx of Into the Dark. So that's us, basically. But look, Hunterclade, 63% win rate. Void Dancer Troop, 63% win rate. Galloppox, 60%, down from 66%. You've got Blooded Traitors on 59%. Warp Coven on 59%. And then Wormblade on 56%. So we have got some population breakdowns on the representation. So Hunterclade, 6% is actually a really good number. That's a good popularity rate. Void Dancer 3.6, so they are down, but that's still like at least 100 games, so that's still good. Same for Galloppox. Blooded is 1.8%, so it's like 50 games. So it's not entirely accurate. And then Warp Coven and Wormblade actually have good representation numbers as well. So we finally have good representations for those kill teams. Then you've got like Legionary, Corsairs. Imperial Navy Breachers are down from 56 to 53%, which is still really, really good, considering they've got a 5.4% meta representation. Pathfinders holding at 50%, thanks to Into the Dark. Love you, Into the Dark. Keep my Pathfinders safe. And then you got Novitiates at 50% as well. So they've picked up a lot as well. Kazakin are at 50% win rate. Now, the problem is they have a 1.2% meta representation, which is not very big. So, you know, there are Kazakin players that go, look, we're not bad. We're exactly mid 50%, you know, just like our ballistic skill. But anyway, it's a low representation rate, which is disappointing considering It looks like the interesting thing is if you go down below, we've got Imperial Guard eating up their stats, and basically you've got Imperial Guard players, and Kazakin. So if we could combine their win rate would be less than 50%, but it's how it is. Then you've got Intercession, who have dropped down to 48.7, which is still good, but it's 13%. They have the biggest popularity, which makes sense because they're Marines. And then Elucidian Star Triders up 46%, so they're actually really good. You know, Commandos back up to 46, Vet Guard up from 40 to 43, and then we got Crew at 35, Phobos at 30, and Hierotech at 27. Yeah, it's not really that good now, is it? Then you got we've got some compendium factions. So you've got Comorite at 71%, Greenskin at 60. But the win rate, the population is not good. Okay, so it's just as you go down, it's just more compendium teams. To the right, this is for our GT Plus results. So it's win rates for tournaments with 4 more rounds and 16 plus players, which you could argue are the more interesting results, but I think everything's interesting, right? Hunterclade have gone up to a 66% win rate, Galapox up to 65, and then Vet Void Dancer Troop at 60. So you've actually seen an improvement for Hunterclade and Void Dancer Troop, and a slight improvement for Galapox. No, a big improvement for Galapox, sorry. So it's clearly those top 3 kill teams are doing well, and Galapox and Void Dancer Troop, Galapox and Hunterclade are doing even better at GT Plus events. And notably, there's not too much of a change in the win rate. Actually, Pathfinder's come down to 43%, which is 44%, which is interesting. Intercession at 45%, Kazakin at 40%. Phobos at 40% as well from one event, and then Crew 32, sorry, and then Necrons, Hierotech Circle at 10%. So I love you, Hierotech players. I know you're paying. I've got a full Hierotech roster. We just suck. It's unfortunate, but this is an interesting comparison, I would say. But it's good data. Now, this is the monthly stats faction in all the teams. So as you can see, Intercession and Legionary have the most games, 297 each, but Intercession are more popular still. They just edge out on terms of meta representation because they're everywhere. They've also got slightly less wins, but more undefeated runs. But while Legionary have the better win rate, Intercession only slightly behind. Then you've got Hunterclade up in third with 172 games, which is very respectable. And they're, crazy 63% win rate. So I think that's 2 months above average, because it will be interesting to see what happens. But it's the main thing of the breakdowns of the games, right? So you've got Commandos 150 games, Wormblade and Void Dancers with 70 and 80. In Breachers on 130 games, so they are getting quite popular. Novitiates 107, and then Vet Guard 132. Yeah, Hierotech Cell 36. Kazakin 24 games. So out of 24 games, they've won 12. And Phobos with 31 games. So it's not great. Yeah, and this is looking at the same table, but for the GT Plus results. So this is how factions are looking at in 4 or more round events with 16 or more players. And as you can see, the breakdown is Hunterclade have had a lot of their games in this format. So it's just a nice comparison piece. And I think going forward, we'll be doing more of this so you can see what the stats look like normally. And then for those looking for more higher representation for more important events, this is what we can clarify. So once again, this is a look at the win rate by popularity. As you can see, we've got Hunterclade up in the sky, and then Legionary and Intercession high on popularity, but not good for win rate. That's healthy, right? So that yellow dot is Galapox, and that is Warp Coven. So so 59.8%, and then Warp Coven at 58. So that's really good from Warp Coven. Not good from Galapox, right? That's bad. And then up here, you got your Comorite and stuff. And then here's what the table looks like without the compendium teams. It's interesting, very interesting, because we've got a really weird meta, right? So we've actually got less kill teams with 40% lesser win rate, but we have like way more above 55%, which is not good, right? It's not good. It kind of follows on the trend of last month. So while we can say Blooded is a bit of a weird blip, Kazakin are definitely not doing that well because we know they've only had 24 games. But poor Phobos, Kroot, and Hyrotech, like even Vetguard, right? And the thing is, I don't think Vetguard need a buff. I think people are just tired of Vetguard because they're a very good kill team. But definitely we've got a problem with the Kroot, Phobos, and Hyrotech, right? But we've also got a problem with Hunterclade, Gallophox, and Void Dancer Troop. Now we have got Warp Coven and Wormblade doing better than normal, but this is they've had a all over the place win rate, right? So they deserve their near 60% win rate for this month. But Gallophox, once again, above 55% for 2 months in a row. Actually above 60% for 2 months in a row. So they definitely should be getting nerfed. Hunterclade, this is their second month of higher than 60%, so they should definitely be getting nerfed. And then Void Dancer Troop are still doing really, really well. And it's like, it's not surprising. And they probably need a nerf as well. But so you've got 3 clear teams that need buffing and nerfing. It's just weird how Into the Dark has changed up the meta so much in terms of making it more unstable, which I guess reflects on the nature of Into the Dark itself. And this is a quick look at the future. So this is the stats grouped by September, October, and November. So this is what GW will look at when they do end up balancing the game for the next balanced data slate, which is either going to be in December or January. So as we can see, including all the win rates, Gallophox and Void Dancer Troop are above 60%, which is not good. Blooded are on 57%. They're fine. And Imperial Navy Breach is on 57% as well, which is not good. Then you've got Hunterclade just on 56 and Pathfinders just sitting on 55. All right, so it's not a good look. And then if you look at the win rate for GT Plus, so 4 rounds or more with 16 or more players, which is likely what GW are going to look at themselves. Gallophox at 60%, Hunterclade at 60%, Void Dancer Troop at 57%, Pathfinders and Breaches, well, Pathfinders at 56%, 56.5%, and Breaches slightly above 55%. Now, a lot of people think these are the best 5 factions in the game, and I would agree. If GW do use this data, so their data is slightly different from what me and Hot Sauce Teddy get, so maybe either slightly higher or lower, you know, with that magical compendium stat. So we could potentially see those 5 factions being nerfed. And, you know, like, I won't get too much into what should be done, but I think some of those factions are more deserved. Like, I think they all should be. And I know Imperial and every breach of players will be upset by that, and I will be like, tough. But let's look down. You know, you've got down at the bottom, Hyrotech, it's not good. Phobos and Elucidian Starstriders, both, well, and Kroot. Like Phobos and Kroot definitely need a buff. Elucidian Starstriders need a buff. Kazakin need a buff. And then, you know, you've got Commandos at 44%. Interestingly, Vetguard are fine. But that's it. This is more of like a guessing look. It's a nice sum up of the quarter. So as you know, once we're in December, that's quarter 4. So it's just looking at the future. So interesting to see what it does. So yeah, for the overview, that's pretty much it for today. As I said, there was not too much. I mean, well, we've got a new stats update, right? And I don't feel well enough to show my face at the moment, considering you may hear my voice is starting to give out. But as I said, overall the stats are looking. It's the same, really. I can't say it's better or worse. You could say it's better because we've got less underperforming kill teams, but it's gotten worse because now we have more overperforming kill teams. And the interesting thing is we should have a new balanced data slate either December, that's when it's due, or it could be delayed and we could get in January because of Christmas and everything, right? But from the results we've had, like, you know, the Spanish 92 or 94 player tournament was won by Gallophox, which is not a good sign for that for Gallophox, coupled with their win rate. Even at the GW final, Gallophox won but also Hunterclade were represented by 3 players, including myself. I mean, I won the London final with Hunterclade, and then Hunterclade has just been doing really well. Void Dancer Troop also doing really well because they're just a really good kill team, you know. And then we've got poor Hierotek, Phobos, and Kroot just underperforming. I would argue Kazakin are underperforming because they have 24 games, and if you combined the Imperial Guard results we have, which are basically all players using Scions into the Kazakin, it'd bring down their win rates even more. So, like, you know, some people go, Kazakin at 50% with, like, 24 games. It's good. It's like, I also live in denial land. Oddly, Pathfinders will probably be fine because Into the Dark has messed them up. And, the problem is if the GW are basically balancing the game, from what we can tell, off of win rate and how many 20-plus player tournaments a faction is winning. So we can safely say off of that, Pathfinders will probably be left alone. You know, even though I disagree with that, but I respect GW sticking to their methodology of going off of win rate and dominating tournament wins, which makes sense, right? But once again, I think Into the Dark is really showing its pains. I hear rumors of Into the Dark's getting more fixes. I mean, my fear is it's probably all going to come way too late into the lifespan of Into the Dark because there's a lot of growing mistrust toward Into the Dark, shall we say. But it's weird, right? The central meta is still holding. Intercession is starting to go down a bit, but it's because of the rise of Galapox and Hunterclade. And I think Void Dancer Troop players have learned the matchup now. Like, I know what to do in the matchup now, so I don't think I'm actually too worried about Intercession with Void Dancer Troop. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. It all comes down, like, this is November and October were the big months because basically those are the main 2 months GW will be looking for balance, because now they'll probably be working on the balance data slate. So I can now do more videos based off of this data. Obviously, once I feel better, like, there's still a crap ton of videos I need to do. But yeah, it's an interesting look at the stats. But once again, thanks goes to Hot Sauce Teddy. Without this, none of them would be possible. And please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of the video, and, you know, let me know your feedback on the stats. And please remember, I've got a Discord. You can check out the episode description below if you want it for free, as well as a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. So I'll quickly thank my patrons. So for my Adepts of the Crit, I have Zamari, Sam, Ninja Lee 83, Kenzie, John Thomas, Captain Murder, Dave, Daniel, Average Joe 27, and Adzik. And then for my Veterans of the Crit, I have Samja. So thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot to me. So thank you so much. Once again, I'll be back with some content soon. Like, there's so much I need to do. Like, I need to cover, the US Open final. There's so many vids. I'm like, I couldn't even record. Like, I'm backlogging on Patreon stuff as well, like battle reports. I've been painting a lot of kill teams, so I've completed 2 new kill teams for the channel. So I'm getting back on that. There's a lot of stuff I need to do. Unfortunately, the 2 weeks I had off after this event have been spent recovering from COVID, which has messed up everything, which is frustrating. But I'll probably be able to catch up once I recover more than in the new year. But that's pretty much it. Please, I hope you enjoyed the stat update, and we'll be back up soon, hopefully, as long as I don't get more sick. But remember, no matter what the stats say, winning is always possible as long as you can roll a crit.